Stan Van Gundy doesn't really believe in coaching matchups, which is probably a good thing, considering Phil Jackson has won 10 NBA titles, 9 as a coach, 1 as a player. Van Gundy, he's never even been to an NBA Finals before, as a head coach or an assistant.
If Coach Jackson and I were out there one-on-one, he was an NBA player, and I was a below-average Division III player in college. So my guess is the advantage would go to him. The bad hips might even it up a little, but probably not enough to make a difference.
I'm sure everybody in this room can tell. Stan's more of a outgoing, in-your-face type of coach, and Phil's more of a laid-back, coach. So they're two different styles.
The guy has won more playoff series than I have playoff games. We're both trying to do the same thing, get our teams to play at the highest level possible, and we'll see what happens.
But even with the difference in experience, the Magic say Van Gundy is the right coach for this team in these finals.
Obviously, Phil has won championships, ring. I think Stan Van Gundy does a great job at adjusting. If he makes a mistake the first game, if it's a coaching mistake, and he points at himself, and he'll go back in office and he'll correct that mistake.
He never been to the NBA final. He's like every one of us. So I think that's good to see his matchup against Phil Jackson and us against the Lakers.
Michael Petrus has his own matchup to worry about. He'll be checking Kobe Bryant for part of this series. And at least for Game 1, he says he'll be doing it wearing special Kobe edition Nike sneakers. Petrus was thinking about changing up to Michael Jordan's, but says he's reconsidered. As for Van Gundy, he's told his team experience doesn't matter as much as ability does. He told them, hey, there was 420 players in the NBA and only 28 are still competing for a championship. 28 players and 2 coaches. In Los Angeles, I'm Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
Phil Jackson's been there before. Stan Van Gundy, not as much. Jackson has 6 times as many playoff wins as Magic coach Stan Van Gundy, and he's led his teams to 9 NBA titles. Van Gundy started the 2005-06 season as the Miami Heat head coach, but Pat Riley took over to lead the Heat to the NBA championship. Robert, you've played for Phil Jackson, won 3 titles with him here as a Laker. How does he get his team ready for the championships?
He has a lot of mind things that he does with his team. Before games, you sit down, you meditate, you do all these certain things. But the thing that's best about him, when he does these mind things, he gets his guys ready. I remember one time I came in the locker room, it was like, man, is someone in here smoking or something? And he had took some kind of root, and he was going to each player's locker, fanning it and say, I got to get rid of all the bad spirits so we can go out and play well today. So
you think it works?
We won 3 championships.
I guess
it must have worked.
It works a little, it has to. But I appreciate Stan Van Gundy because he's had a stack of dominoes across the country ready to pile on and say, I told you so once the Magic got eliminated. Started with Shaquille O'Neal. Martin Gortat, his backup center, has something to say. Dwight Howard is starting center. The media, everybody talks about his voice being hoarse. He's never happy, blah, 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 blah. He got his team in the NBA Finals. Can't wait to see how he and his team respond.
The ironic thing, guys, think that a couple of years ago, Orlando tried to hire Billy Donovan, actually took the job, went back to Florida. The rest is history, good history for the Orlando Magic.